Uh, Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Eddie Marcus again, spokesman and advocate for basic human rights for all people. I'd like to speak to the gospel singers and gospel preachers, my sisters and brothers. I'd like to share a message with you I know is very important, and I wanted you to get it. So I'm here to give it to you. I'm going to share a message with you in hope of making your ministry more effective. First, the success of your ministry has nothing to do with your number or the bottom line in your treasury. The truth is that a high number in either or both is an indication that you are not really serving the God of creation. You see, knowing the Word, the Bible, singing praises, not smoking, not drinking excessively, not chasing the opposite sex, going to church every time the door is open, a deacon, a missionary, an evangelist. These may be a good attribute, but it has nothing to do with serving God or even knowing God. Such misguided persons are easily identifiable. When questioned about God, the first thing they will say is, "My Bible says." If someone asks you a question about your mother, would you say, "Well, my diary says"? Thus, if you know God, you wouldn't have to refer to a book. We all know that what you've been responding to. Whether you're Baptist, Methodist, a Jehovah's Witness, Seventh-day Adventist, Jesus only, a Pentecostal, Jewish, a Muslim, a Catholic, and all others are responding to tradition. Everything you say and do is what others have said and done. You are responding to hearsay. What is a greatest way to nullify servants of God than to keep them believing without knowing? Try the spirits. All your lives, the world has been becoming worse because God's people are believing, not knowing. All your God-believing days, you serve the anti-God. Each of them. Now, what am I saying? I'm saying that every day you're on this earth, I don't care how much you say you love God, you sing, you preach, every day you serve the anti-God. You perpetuate his economic system. You perpetuate his government. You perpetuate his education system, his financial system, his employment system. He has you believing that the life you desire, just keep honoring him, and the great life will be yours upon your death. If you knew God, you would know his system is your responsibility today. If you knew God, you would know that his system is your responsibility today. You are to lead, not follow. So why do you think there are so many denominations? Because there are many paths to God? Not so. It is because of confusion. To God, there's only one path, straight and narrow, known as love. Truth lives on this path, peace, prosperity, and joy lives on this path. And though you may have 25,000 members, or you sing to as many, travel on jets and planes, live in mansions and others scattered about, though you lay hands on the sick and they recover, cast out demons, speak in tongues of fire, as long as the least of these are amongst you, suffering for the physical portion of life, God finds no pleasure in you, nor is there room for you in heaven. God's people are called into service and qualified to change the world, not to be its biggest benefactor. And just because your parent, your spouse served God in a certain capacity does not mean that you have been called or qualified by God. Chances are your parents and your spouse were not accepted by God. I'm saying to my brothers and sisters who are preachers, who preach the gospel, who sing gospel, I know you do your thing, and I know you feel you do it well, and you do it well. But it's not giving God the glory. When God touches you, separate you, sanctify you, make you ready, it's to tell the people that there is a God, and it is not the politicians, it is not your government, it is not the man behind the curtain, it is God. It is God that made everything that exists on this earth, and he made it for the people on earth, for all of them on earth. Not for the great nation that's the empire, not for the race that's superior to others, because there is no such thing. He made it for everyone, and those who are children of God know that, and they will settle for nothing less than justice amongst the people. That means that anti-God that would deny the people, some of them, those who don't serve Satan, will deny none of them. And it is the responsibility of those that are led by God. Oh, you can sing your songs, you can preach your gospel. Yes, but before you do that, and before it has any value, you must get out there and take care of God's business. God's business is to take that hand that is choking the lifeblood out of people. I just thought you should know it, because many of you got beautiful voices. And when I see you on the TV, you look real gorgeous, you look real good, you guys look handsome, and you can really sing. And I know you think you got it going on, but God gets no glory in that. You're doing that for yourself. And you preachers who can sing and get all into it, you know what I mean when I say get all into it. Your emotions all into it. That might be good for your membership, but God gets no glory out of that. Why? Because it's fake. It is fake. As long as there's one out here in America, the people of God got a responsibility, and that is to bring that one into the fold, so that we as a people, a family of God, can experience on this planet, in this day, at this time, the glory of God. Now, I know, as you know, that the powers that be, those behind the curtains, those who benefit from the system, whether it's the mob, whether it's the military, whether it's gangsters, whether it's gangbangers, whether it's dope dealers, whatever it is that benefits from the system, when you stand up for God, they don't know God, and they will endeavor to wipe you out of this planet. But let me tell you something, a child of God knows that that is a door to an immediate heaven and has no fear. So singing your song, make sure you've done your work. and your song will have value. Preaching your gospel, make sure you've done your work, and your gospel will have value. But you cannot preach a gospel. You cannot preach a gospel. You cannot sing a song that glorifies God when you spend 7 days of your life championing the system, going to work in the system, going to the education system, and going to using the financial system. All of these systems set up by man, which I know you thinking they were set up by God. And that might have been the intent from the beginning, but presently they aren't. And when you out here, first of all, let me give you preachers a thing. When God calls you, he calls you just like he did Matthew. Get up off of that job that you got and serve God. You say, well, you got to eat. God knows you got to eat. And God has a plan that would allow you to eat. So when you come into serving God, you start championing that plan of God that will allow you to eat. You say that you need a job to give you something to do. God has something for you to do. So when you come into this business of serving God, you stand up to champion that you and everybody else can do that which God has made you to do. You don't have to fall to the side. A child of God doesn't say, well, I got to eat and I can't eat. No, he stand up for the right way. I heard somebody say today that all souls are immortal, but the souls of the righteous are divine. Thank you.